Tonight at 5, a new report says rail workers in East Palestine, Ohio are getting sick as they continue to clean the site of a toxic train derailment without any protective gear.
Plus, tuition costs across UW campuses could soon increase. How much more your students could soon be paying.
And UW Madison celebrating Peace Corps Week, how the program is helping hundreds of communities all around the world. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. The Madison School District is ending a long-time contract with Badger Bus Company, and a few of the reasons have to do with issues that we have reported on before.
The district has opened the bidding process to another company starting this fall. Our Catherine Merck explains what the district is looking for next. Catherine?
Well, Eric and Susan, while the conversation about a new bus company is ongoing with MMSD transportation heads, it's important to remember some of the issues the old company brought up.
I was left on the bus.
You might remember 5-year-old Anthony Watson. We talked to him almost 2 years ago after he was forgotten on the bus by a Badger bus driver who was fired.
We transport close to 20,000 kids on a daily basis, and it's not unreasonable to have a hiccup at any given point.
Cedric Cotto is behind building services and operations with MMSD. I brought up 5-year-old Anthony and other issues Badger Bus brought up for the district in the last year, like staffing shortages. He told me that's one of the things the district is thinking about in its next contract.
We've asked our potential bus providers who submitted bids to put things in there that will support incidences like this, that they never happen again. Picture how that parent thinks in regards toward a child being potentially lost or didn't get on the bus or didn't get off the bus.
Badger Bus's contract is up this year. The district says it's required by law to take their contract out to bid. First Student got the bid, and the district says this new company will bring some exciting new changes, addresses safety gaps, and helps with new schedules.
This included higher technology camera packages, cameras on the bus as well as cameras adjacent to the bus, plus 100 new buses. And they're the leading bus company, student transportation, in regards to electrical vehicles.
It's the goal for something like what happened to Anthony Watson to not happen with other students, and for safety to not be forgotten moving forward.
Ultimately, our job is to ensure that our kids get from point A to point B safely and quickly as possible.
The district did emphasize that the deal with First Student isn't finalized yet. They're still in contract negotiations. We reached out to Badger Bus for comment and haven't heard back.
Catherine, thank you. Madison police are investigating after a vehicle crashed into a tree on the city's west side, leaving one person dead and 2 others seriously hurt. It happened on Gammon Road, south of Watts Road, just after noon. Investigators say all 3 victims were in the same car. One person was found dead at the scene, and 2 others were hospitalized with serious injuries.
We've reached out to various businesses here to get as much video as we can. There are very few witness statements, but we do believe the car was going southbound on Gammon and from at least Watts Road, and that's all we know at this point.
It's unclear what led to the crash. We'll have more details tonight at 6 and 10, and you can also follow along as we learn more on channel3000.com and on our news app. An alert day has been canceled for tomorrow, but we still could see some rain or snow. Julian Seawright is out on the weather patio with the latest. Julian?
That's right. We've been tracking the changes of that alert day, and it's just continue to shift so far south that it's not really going to be bringing us much of anything, but there's still a chance to see a stray shower or even some snow later into our Friday afternoon. But let's get a look at what we're seeing for today. The cloud cover has been stubborn and is going to continue to be stubborn throughout the rest of tonight. We will start to see some breaks later into the evening, but overall, folks, don't expect too much clear skies for us as we're heading into our Friday. Temperatures will bottom out into the upper 20s once again, but around southern Wisconsin as of right now, it's not too bad. Into the upper 30s throughout much of southern Wisconsin, especially for Janesville and for Platteville, while we're holding into the middle 30s here in Madison. Taking a closer look around Dane County, pretty uniform from Middleton and Madison, but we can see see for Sauk City, around 32 degrees as we're kicking off the rest of this evening. Now moving ahead into what we're expecting for tonight. Again, temperatures will start to bottom out into the upper 20s, but it's going to be a rather quiet night. Cloud cover will break later this evening, but build once again as we get into tonight, making for a mostly cloudy one. But outside of that, temperatures around southern Wisconsin are pretty uniform as well. Lower 30s and upper 20s. But we'll talk more about what else is to expect from not only Friday, but this weekend in a few moments. Until then, back to you guys.
Julian, thank you. The tuition bill for UW students could be getting higher.
That's after the UW system president proposed a tuition increase at the Capitol today. Political reporter Will Keneally is there with the details. Will?
That's right. So this is about the first time in roughly a decade that we've seen the possibility of a tuition increase here for the UW system since the legislature froze tuition in 2013. But now the power to raise tuition is in the hands of the UW Board of Regents. They actually voted last year to keep that tuition freeze in place. But now System President Jay Rothman says he will take a 5% increase to the regents for their approval at their next meeting.
This modest tuition increase will help our universities continue to provide students with a world-class education, produce the talent that Wisconsin's workforce needs to succeed, and spark innovation and vitality in our communities.
The amount of increase will obviously vary campus by campus and depending on a student's workload. But an estimate based on UW-Madison could see for students, in-state students, more than $500 increase and close to $2,000 for those students out of state. And this is also as legislators are debating a possible cap on the amount that the UW system could increase tuition. We'll have more on their reaction coming up tonight at 6. Reporting from the Capitol, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
Will, thank you. Deliberations are now underway in the double murder trial of former South Carolina attorney Alex Murdaugh. Murdaugh has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of murder and 2 weapons charges related to the 2021 killings of his wife and youngest son. During the 6 weeks of testimony, Murdaugh admitted on the stand he lied to investigators about where he was the night of the murders. Even if the jury finds Murdaugh not guilty, he is still facing the possibility of decades in prison if convicted on the separate 99 charges for alleged financial crimes.
In Ohio, union leaders say rail workers are getting sick from cleaning up the toxic train site in East Palestine without protective equipment. Mike Valerio has the latest and more on a new bill that would prevent similar disasters from happening elsewhere.
In the middle of this toxic cleanup, railroad union leaders say their workers are operating here with no PPE.
I've been out there a dozen times. Nobody's wearing protective equipment. I've asked 3 or 4 times. It's really alarming.
Michael Rulli represents East Palestine in the Ohio State Senate. He also lives near the derailment.
Some people that live near the rail actually are suffering from rashes and some discoloration in the skin. So it's a very real thing, and the workers there need to be protected.
Friday marks 1 month since the disaster, and the uncertainty about how lives can continue is palpable.
I have a part ownership in a farm, so I'm concerned about that, the soil at the farm. Can we plant? Can we not plant? Will anybody buy it if we do plant?
In terms of new federal regulations, a bipartisan group of U.S. senators is introducing a bill that will enhance safety procedures for trains carrying hazardous materials, reduce the risk of train wheel bearing failures, boost maximum fines for wrongdoing, and require at least 2-person crews on trains like the one that derailed. The head of the NTSB, who calls this accident 100% preventable, says she looks forward to the CEO of Norfolk Southern testifying before the Senate next week.
I would ask him what would he do differently, and how will he protect this community now that there's been a spill, and how will he protect the workers?
I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
All 7 Class 1 railroads in the U.S., including Norfolk Southern, are expected to announce voluntary participation in a confidential close call safety reporting system. The program allows workers to report safety hazards, including conditions that could lead to derailments.
New at 5, the Justice Department has ruled U.S. Capitol Police and Democratic lawmakers can sue former President Trump over the January 6th insurrection. The department wrote, quote, "No part of a president's official responsibilities includes the incitement of imminent private violence. and such conduct plainly falls outside the president's constitutional and statutory duties. Lawmakers and 2 Capitol Police officers have already filed lawsuits against the former president. They argue Mr. Trump and others made false allegations of fraud and theft, and in direct response to the defendant's express calls for violence at the rally, a violent mob attacked the U.S. Capitol. The world's foreign ministers are in India for a meeting of the G20 nations, and that allowed for a rare face-to-face meeting between U.S. and Russian officials. Secretary of State Antony Blinken delivered a straightforward message to Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov to engage in meaningful diplomacy and end the war of aggression against Ukraine. It comes a week after Russian President Vladimir Putin announced Russia would be withdrawing from the last nuclear arms treaty between the 2 countries.
I told the foreign minister that no matter what else is happening in the world or in our relationship, the United States will always be ready to engage and act on strategic arms control, just as the United States and the Soviet Union did even at the height of the Cold War.
Russia continues to insist that the West is forcing Ukraine to fight in the war, even accusing Western nations of blackmail and threats. Julian has our latest First Warn forecast next at 5.
Plus, how a decades-long tradition at UW-Madison continues to help communities around the world. We'll have that story when we come back. And tonight at 6, a closer look at plans for a new mega travel center in DeForest. We'll see what all the buzz is about coming up at 6.
Strong Thursday for the markets. The Dow climbing almost 342 points. The Nasdaq adds 83.5. S&P 500 closes up 30, and we'll be right back.
The ultimate appliance sale is on now at Furniture and Appliance Mart. Get top appliance brands like this Whirlpool range with air fry for only $17 per month. Plus special financing for 5 years and delivery in 3 days or less at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley of Madison.
This right here is confidence in a bottle.
Not only does it change you on the outside, but something in the inside, knowing that you're looking better.
It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt in my life.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Well, today we're going to see one for ourselves and let you be the judge. It's called Plexiderm, and lifestyle expert Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and you'll notice the model has bags underneath his eyes and some sagging, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face, and that's how easy it is.
All right, what's the active ingredient?
Okay, so it's silicates that are minerals found in shale rock, and what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes in as little as 10 minutes, no prescriptions, and very little effort. Even watching the video, this is a real, it's a model, but it's a real guy with real bags underneath his eyes.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. This is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. Feels great. Looks even better.
And I did this to my father. We were at home, so we applied it to his under eye bags, and let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view, and now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. He calls me every single month saying, "Hey, Annette, I'm out of Plexiderm, please send me more." And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles. The way you want to do it is you want to have a clean, dry face. You use a small amount because it's so powerful. You have high school reunions, you have events you want to go to, you want to look years younger, this is it.
At our $19.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work after your first application. Visit plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
It's the ultimate sale going on now at Ashley. Fill your room for as little as $21 a month, plus delivery in 3 days or less, and special financing for 5 years with no money down. Happening now at Ashley, Wisconsin's #1 furniture and mattress retailer.
Coming up, hundreds of dollars more for a diploma. The types of tuition hikes UW System students could face under a brand new state budget coming soon. Tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
News 3 Now's Call for Action team gets results.
We're taking action for you.
Nearly 700 cases closed, more than $500,000 recovered, and we're not finished yet. When you need help, call for action only on News 3 Now.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back. It's a program with a huge legacy at UW-Madison, the Peace Corps. In the 6 decades it's been around, UW-Madison ranks 2nd in the nation for sending Peace Corps volunteers abroad.
A great source of pride. And this week, the university is celebrating Peace Corps Week, marking 62 years since JFK first created the International Service Program. Our Braden Ross joins us with more on the UW's Peace Corps tradition. Braden?
Almost 3,400 Badgers have served in the Peace Corps since it started, including our very own former governor, Jim Doyle. I sat down with him today to talk about his own experience and the legacy of the Peace Corps at UW-Madison. Take a look.
There can be no greater service to our country and no source of pride more real than to be a member of the Peace Corps of the United States.
The year is 1961, and a teenage Jim Doyle has already made up his mind.
It was about the excitement and the adventure and serving your country and sort of all the right things that I really wanted to do.
Fresh after graduating from the University of Wisconsin-Madison in 1967, he and his wife Jessica set out as Peace Corps volunteers. They spent 2 years teaching English in Tunisia.
These people were incredibly impoverished and yet were totally generous and open with us. And it was really their kindness that got us through.
Doyle is one of nearly 3,400 UW-Madison grads that have answered President Kennedy's call to service in the last 62 years. In fact, UW-Madison has a long legacy with the Peace Corps.
The last year that the rankings were done was 2020. For that year, we were ranked #1 for the 4th year running on an annual total. And historically, we rank #2 since the beginning of Peace Corps.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, this is a university, Madison, that has been devoted towards public service.
Later in life, Doyle would go on to serve in another way as governor of Wisconsin. But he says his time in the Peace Corps has never left him.
When I went back to Tunisia many, many years later as governor, I went to the university faculty and talked to professors there. I'd say 10 of those professors came up to me and said, I had a Peace Corps teacher, Mr. Jones or Mr. So-and-so, and I'll always remember that. And that's what the Peace Corps is all about.
The Peace Corps paused in-country operations during the pandemic in 2020, but as of last summer, Badgers are now back in the field.
Cal Berkeley, #1.
#1, yeah.
Braden, great story. Thank you. And tonight, a Sun Prairie restaurant hosting a fundraiser to help those affected by the recent deadly earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. Owners of Mezzi Mediterranean Grill are donating 50% of today's sales to recovery efforts in the region. Figo Ake, whose family lives in Turkey, says it's really important for the restaurant to be able to help people over there. They need everything from shelter and food to water.
My family lives on the other side of Turkey, but still, when you hear something like that, it hurts. And this is like one of the biggest earthquakes happened, and thousand people die, and still a lot of people still waiting for help, so it just hurts.
Kay says the community's positive response so far has been overwhelming. Mezzi Mediterranean Grill is located at 503 West Main Street there in Sun Prairie. Let's get a look at your first warn forecast. Julian Seawright joins us. Julian?
Well, we're going to start things off with the 3 things we'll need to know, because we do have some adjustments now that we don't have the alert day in our forecast, and we'll walk through why we had some changes to that in just a few moments. But this is what we're looking at now. We do have some chances to see some light snowfall or even some rain mixing in as we get into our Friday afternoon, but otherwise it is going to be 40s back into this weekend. Some sunshine, some cloud cover, and also some more opportunities to see some rain showers in our forecast. Now, we are quiet in the upper Midwest for the most part. Though our friends to the south are dealing with some severe weather, we are going to be looking at lots of quiet weather throughout much of tonight and heading into tomorrow as well. There are some opportunities, again, though, to start to see a little bit of snow. We'll get to that in just a moment. For tonight's temperatures will bottom out into the upper 20s, around 31 degrees for Janesville and 29 degrees over for Platteville. Cloud cover is still going to be stubborn heading into our Friday, so don't look for many opportunities to see much sun or even clear skies heading into tonight. Now, tomorrow our temperature is going to be into the upper 30s because you see a bit cooler to our friends to the east, but a bit warmer over towards the western side. We're looking at those 40s, especially for Platteville, around 41 degrees as we get to tomorrow's high, and around 40 for Janesville, which will be limiting, once again, any kind of snowfall that would even try to make its way into southern Wisconsin. So we try to keep it very transparent as to when we put alert days in and when we do take them out. What has changed is that the storm track that we've been watching really shifted south, so much so that if we see anything, it's mainly going to be either rain or just some very light snow, especially with the rise in those afternoon temperatures that I had just shown you, which were typically into the 40s. As we go into what's happening now, we may see some rain, may see some snow, but overall, it's not going to be very widespread, and it will be very minimal throughout southern Wisconsin. So going in throughout the rest of tonight, it's going to stay cloudy into the upper 20s. For Friday morning, not going to be expecting much at all. And then as we get into the afternoon hours, may see a bit of some snowfall, but it's mainly going to be into the west and to the southeast, or excuse me, to the east and the southeast for us as we get into our Friday afternoon, which is why in terms of any kind of snowfall totals, it's mainly going to be in that far southeast corridor, especially near Kenosha, where they may see an inch or two, but overall not going to be seeing much throughout the rest of southern Wisconsin. Heading into the weekend, our temperatures will be into the 40s, but we do have opportunities to see some showers, not just for Saturday, but for our Sunday night as well, leading into our Monday. So walk you through what we're going to be seeing for just at least our Saturday. Temperatures are going to start off rather chilly onto the early mornings, but then the 40s will roll in, and then we're looking for some rain and snow mixing heading into the northern parts of southern Wisconsin near the Wisconsin Dells. Not much in terms of rainfall, about 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch. In terms of snowfall, it's mainly going to be north, and again, not looking for much there either. Here's a look at our 10-day forecast. Temperatures into the 40s are going to stay steady into next week until we start to see a bit of colder temperatures in the back end of the work week as well. A quick look at our traffic as of right now. We are moving ahead into seeing right now not too bad along the belt line, rather smooth as we're getting into the rest of our 5 p.m. rush hour. It's going to do it for our weather and traffic. Over to you guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. A local U.S. Army veteran and his family were surprised with a brand new home today. Sergeant Torrey Honda and his family now have a new mortgage-free home in Windsor. Honda served in the Army for almost 7 years and was involved in combat missions overseas where he sustained very serious injuries. Because of those injuries, he is medically retired. Honda was also awarded several honors, including the Purple Heart and the National Defense Service Medal. Although his injuries have been very hard on him, he and his family are optimistic for the future and have worked hard to transition to civilian life. The surprise was made possible thanks to Operation Finally Home, Tim O'Brien Homes, and Structural Building Components Association.
New at 5, the Boys and Girls Club of Dane County and Madison College are teaming up to support student success with a new program. It's called TOPS Plus and helps eligible students who have graduated high school by paying for their tuition and fees while they pursue an associate's degree at Madison College. TOPS Plus was made possible by a $1.5 million commitment from businesswoman Mary Burke. And coming up, using technology and games to help children deal with the trauma of war in Ukraine. That's just ahead at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
All you have to do is point.
Yes! 1-800-GOT-JUNK can make it disappear.
And that's why they all start dancing.
Woo! Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
The sun has risen, the pride has returned, and the time has come to join the circle of life at the Lion King.
Coming to Overture Center May 11th through 28th. Tickets on sale now at overture.org.
I lost these. When you need a light, under pressure, it's gotta be Superior.
Lake Ridge may be a new name, but it isn't a new bank. It's one built on over a century of community commitment. One equipped with all the knowledge and resources of 145 collective years of experience. Monona Bank and State Bank of Cross Plains are coming together as one. As Lake Ridge Bank, we're doing more together for you.
There are so many things we take for granted, and along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for granted too. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living, and through no fault of their own, they're being left behind? If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy and water providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
It's Steinhoffel's Dream Vacation Giveaway. Test rest a Beauty Rest Black mattress at Steinhoffel's for your chance to win a trip to Hawaii. And right now, get your choice of an Apple Watch or Apple AirPods with a purchase of a Beauty Rest Black mattress. Beauty Rest Black mattresses start at just $49 per month when you use Steinhoffel's 72-month financing. So save big and rest easy on your new Beauty Rest mattress from Steinhoffel's. Shop in-store or online today at steinhoffels.com.
Dan Kelly won't keep our community safe. As a lawyer, Kelly defended child sex predators who posed as ministers in order to prey on vulnerable young girls. They lured young children to locations they believed to be safe, only to sexually assault and molest them. And Dan Kelly defended those monsters. Do you want someone like that on the Supreme Court? Dan Kelly, an extremist who doesn't care about us.
All you have to do is point.
Yes! 1-800-GOT-JUNK can make it disappear.
And that's why they all start dancing.
Woo!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Mental health experts have rolled out a gaming app to help children traumatized by the war in Ukraine.
Millions of youngsters were forced to leave their homes when Russia invaded last year. Psychologists say the technology is helping refugees work through isolation and anxiety. Ian Lee has the story from London.
It was a mad dash for many to get out of Ukraine when Russia invaded last year, including Natalia Levitska.
I just looked at my window and I saw explosions.
She uprooted her daughter Polina last May for a new, safer life in London. Her husband stayed behind in Kyiv to help the war effort.
Not being together, it's very difficult because I need to make a lot of decisions by myself.
While they left the war never left Polina. The 6-year-old felt anxious in her new home until her mom found out about a phone app.
So you're the rabbit.
I'm the rabbit, yeah, and she. This is me. I was, oh my God, that's exactly what we need because it's so cool.
Designed by child psychotherapist Louis Weinstock, the game, called A Part of Me, follows a young girl trapped in an enchanted forest.
The idea of a child being trapped in a tree is perhaps obviously also a metaphor for what can happen when we experience trauma, that we can feel isolated, frozen in different ways.
Yeah.
Both Polina and her mom were hooked.
Yeah, more potion now.
The game is really relaxed, and every time we get new charms.
Weinstock now wants to get this game to more kids stuck inside Ukraine.
There was an overwhelming need for some kind of digital mental health support, specifically focused on helping children and parents through the trauma of the war.
Okay, you can read the next one.
Natalia is working to translate the app, hoping the power of play can help Ukrainian children through their darkest days. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
According to the United Nations, the war in Ukraine has killed nearly 500 Ukrainian children and injured almost 1,000.
We'll be right back after a short break.
Is your bathroom headquarters. We've got everything you need to create the bathroom of your dreams. Plus, it's all 11% off. Complete your bathroom update with a Broan bath fan. Broan's controlled smart fan and light provides excellent ventilation along with brilliant sound through its built-in voice-controlled speaker system. Now is the time to add some style to your home and get a Broan voice-controlled bath fan for just $195.79 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Fjords has been crafting beautifully designed functional furniture since 1941. Every aspect of Fjords furniture has been carefully engineered to create a higher level of relaxation. Right now at the Century House, purchase any Fjords furniture and receive up to 20% off. All models, all sizes, all colors. Experience the unmatched relaxation you can only achieve in Fjords furniture. Relaxation made beautiful. Visit the Century House at 3420 University Avenue in Madison or online at centuryhouseinc.com.
With Dad's arthritis, he struggles with housework and bathing, so I called a Grace. Yes, a Grace. With their age-at-home service, Dad gets the help he needs to stay independent at home.
A Grace, caring every step of the way.
Create your perfect room for entertaining, relaxing, and more with patio enclosures. Right now, get 25% off your sunroom. Plus, enjoy exceptional financing. Call today.
Patio enclosures.
The Big Share and Online Day of Giving is March 7th. Advance social and environmental justice by supporting the nearly 70 nonprofit members of Community Shares of Wisconsin. Even a $5 donation can make change happen. Donate now through March 7th at thebigshare.org.
Anytime Fitness is having a 10-day flash sale. For 10 days only, you can join Anytime Fitness for just $1. Get a coach and a community to support you with training, nutrition, and recovery. Now through March 10th, join Anytime Fitness for just $1. Hurry in now. This deal won't last long.
If you're on Medicare and Medicaid, it pays to pick a plan with the benefits you want. With the iCare Medicare plan, members receive a spending account card that gives them $150 total per month to spend on food, OTC items, utilities, or even rent. Members also have a $0 copay for all covered Part D drugs and dental and vision coverage. Call to speak with a licensed sales agent who will help you find out if you're eligible. Rest easy. iCare is looking out for you and your health.
A convicted felon kidnapped and raped a 15-year-old girl, abducting her off the street in broad daylight. Judge Janet Protasewicz could have sentenced him to 20 years. Instead, she put him back on our streets.
What detractors would say is you having been soft on a violent sexual crime.
I would say that that's ridiculous. Judge Protasewicz puts our families at risk, and putting her on our Supreme Court, that's what's ridiculous. Fair Courts America is responsible for the content of this advertising.
We've got a lot of news coming up as the surge in fentanyl overdoses claims the lives of more teens. Why schools are now adding a lesson plan on how to use an opioid-reversing drug. That's tonight, right here on the CBS Evening News.
And Julian's back. One final check of the forecast.
Well, no alert day for it tomorrow, but we'll still just monitor, potentially seeing some rain showers or even some snow showers heading into our Friday afternoon. Otherwise, we're back into the 40s for the weekend. We do have more opportunities for rain showers heading into our Saturday afternoon again, and for our Sunday nights into our Monday. Otherwise, it's going to be rather nice until we get to next week, where we have a cold burst and potentially some more snow heading into next weekend.
All right, Julian, thank you. CBS Evening News coming your way next. We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.